The rain fell like a shroud over the city, mirroring the tears I could no longer shed. I stood before the French windows of my penthouse, the very symbol of a life I thought was perfect. Below, the city lights blurred into a constellation of broken promises. They called me Scarlet, a name as fiery as my crimson hair. But tonight, that fire had turned to ash. In my hand I clutched the divorce papers, each word a venomous sting. My husband, the man I gave everything to, had not only betrayed me, but conspired with my own family to strip me of my inheritance, my company, my very identity. His words echoed in my mind, colder than the winter wind whipping against the glass. Scarlet, you were always too naive, too trusting. This world isn't for people like you. His mistress, my own stepsister, had laughed beside him, her victory gleaming in her eyes. They thought they had won. They left me with nothing but this empty cage, high above a world that no longer felt like mine. A bitter smile touched my lips. My emerald green eyes, once filled with love, now held only the reflection of my ruin. The scent of gas was faint at first, a subtle, insidious whisper. A trap. They didn't just want to ruin me, they wanted to erase me. As the explosion ripped through the silence, my last thought wasn't of fear, but of a chilling, profound regret. Not for loving, but for loving the wrong people. My world dissolved into a searing white light, and then darkness. But this wasn't the end. It was a terrifying, heart-stopping plunge, and then a sudden gasp for air. I shot up in bed, my heart hammering against my ribs. The room was familiar. My old bedroom from 3 years ago, bathed in the soft morning light. My hands. They were mine, yet unblemished by the scars of my recent past. My reflection in the mirror was a ghost, younger, softer, the crushing weight of betrayal not yet settled in her eyes. I was back before the fake smiles, before the carefully planned ruin. It was the day of my wedding anniversary, the very day the threads of their conspiracy began to tighten. This time, there would be no naive trust. This time, my green eyes would see through every lie. The woman with crimson hair would not be a victim. She would be the storm. I walked down the grand staircase, my steps measured and sure. He was there, my husband, smiling that same charming smile that had once captured my heart. Today, it only fueled the ice in my veins. "Happy anniversary, my love," he said, holding out a velvet box. Last time I had melted. This time, I met his gaze, my own unblinking. "Thank you," I said, my voice smooth as silk, yet carrying an edge he couldn't quite place. I opened the box. The diamond necklace was exquisite, a glittering lie. I remembered how he later sold it, claiming it was a fake to pay off his gambling debts. This time I smiled, a genuine, chilling smile. "It's beautiful, but I think I have a better gift for you." I let the silence hang in the air, watching the first flicker of unease in his eyes. The game had just begun, and I was already rewriting the rules. My first move was to secure my assets. I spent the day meeting with my lawyer, restructuring my inheritance into an ironclad trust he couldn't touch. Every loophole they had exploited in my past life was sealed shut. My naivety was gone, replaced by a mind sharpened by betrayal. When I returned home, my stepsister was there, feigning concern. "Scarlet, you look tired. Are you okay?" Her syrupy voice was poison. I simply looked at her, a long, searching look that made her squirm. "I've never been better," I replied. "Just had a very enlightening day." That night, a new figure entered my life, or rather re-entered it. At a charity gala I was forced to attend, I met him. Liam Sterling, a business magnate known for his ruthless efficiency and unwavering integrity. In my past life, he was a distant competitor. This time, his gaze lingered on me, not with pity, but with a palpable sense of intrigue. He approached me, his presence a stark contrast to my husband's shallow charm. "Mrs. Dubois," he said, his voice a low, steady hum. "You seem different tonight. Stronger." I held his gaze. Perhaps I've just decided to stop playing a part I was never meant for. A hint of a smile played on his lips. An interesting choice of words. That brief exchange was a spark in the darkness, a reminder that not all strength had to be forged in solitude. As I planned my revenge, Liam became an unexpected ally. He saw the fire behind my calm exterior, the strategist beneath the elegant facade. He didn't ask questions. He simply offered resources, his vast network becoming an extension of my will. "Whatever you're planning," he told me one evening, "know that you have my support. A queen should never have to fight for her throne alone." The pieces began to fall into place. I leaked anonymous tips about my husband's fraudulent deals, watching from the sidelines as his empire of lies began to crumble. I exposed my stepsister's schemes, her social standing plummeting as her true nature was revealed to the world. They were so busy scrambling to put out fires, they never once suspected the woman they had cast aside was the one holding the match. Their confusion turned to panic, then to fear. The red-haired woman they once mocked had become their nightmare. They couldn't understand how their perfect plan had gone so wrong. The final confrontation was not in a boardroom, but at the annual family banquet, the very event where my humiliation had been sealed in my past life. This time, I arrived not as a broken wife, but as the master of ceremonies for their downfall. I stood before them all, a vision in a black gown, my crimson hair a stark banner of my vengeance. One by one, I laid their sins bare, presenting irrefutable proof of their conspiracy, their theft, their attempted murder. The silence in the room was absolute, broken only by the gasps of the guests and the panicked denials of my enemies. My husband fell to his knees, his face a mask of disbelief and finally regret. "Scarlett, please," he begged. But the woman he was begging was long gone. My tears were done. Now it was their turn to cry. I looked at him, my emerald eyes cold and clear. "The woman you destroyed is dead. You're looking at her legacy." With the authorities arriving to take them away, I turned and walked out, leaving the ruins of their lives behind me. Outside, Liam was waiting. He didn't say a word, simply held out his hand. Taking it felt different from anything before. It wasn't about dependence, it was about partnership. As we walked away into the city night, a new chapter began. The path of revenge had been cleansing, but it was a lonely one. Now, with the ghosts of the past finally laid to rest, I was ready to see if a heartbroken and remade could learn to love again. The crimson-haired woman had found her strength. She had claimed her justice. And now, she was finally free to walk into the sunrise of a new life, not as a survivor, but as a victor.